Yo, good morning, good morning, good morning. Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorillas in the building. Hitting y'all with this quick live stream as I make my way to the park to begin my morning workout. It's 7 a.m. and it's overcast. It's supposed to start raining at 10. So I'm getting it. You know, I like to get my outdoor exercises in when I can. You know what I'm saying? Touch some grass and all that good shit. But I wanted to discuss this on my way up there. And I'm just going to get it out the way because it's quite early for some people. So not really expecting a lot of people to come in here. But I want to discuss the reasoning for Tank fans who believe that even though they hate this fight, they hate the fact that Gervonta Tonka Truck Davis is going to be fighting Jake Paul, even though they hate that. They hate the idea, they don't want to see it, blah, blah, blah. They believe that he should be able to retain his WBA belt at 135, even when the fight happens. Because in their minds, Tonka Truck is going to come back and unify. He's going to come back and defend. He's going to come back and fight his mandatory, which at this point would be Floyd Schofield Jr. Even though these guys have their own careers to think about, they can't sit and wait for Tonka Truck Davis to finally do what he's supposed to do as a so-called elite champion at 135 at the lightweight division. They believe that this guy should be able to take off for a whole year if he wants to and come back, retain his fucking belt. Oh, well, fighters only fight once a year anyway. Which fighters? You know what I'm saying? And if a champion is only fighting once a year, that's a problem. A champion, an active champion at any division, should not be just fighting once a year. And if he only fights once a year, then he should not be retaining that belt. No matter, I don't care who he is. Terrence Crawford should be stripped right now. You know what I'm saying? There are a number of fighters, because Terrence Crawford is retaining his belt at 145-54 for what reason? He's going up to fight Canelo for undisputed at 168. I mean, so I get it. He has a belt that he can use to fight, but I mean, at the end of the day, Canelo agreed to fight him regardless. The sanctioning bodies are allowing this fight to happen. You know, Canelo lost his belt, lost the IBF. He was stripped of the IBF belt, fought William Skoll to get it back. You get what I'm saying? So Terrence Crawford is going up there to fight Canelo. Why is he still holding on to belts at 154? He should be stripped as well. These guys who are jumping around doing what they want, so-called active champions in these weight divisions that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, none of them should be able to keep their belts. They all should be stripped, including Tonka Truck Davis, especially Tank, because he's fighting in an exhibition bout against a guy who just fought Mike Tyson at heavyweight. There's no way either one of those guys are going to meet the requirements to fight in a sanctioned bout. Tonka Truck is not going to go up to 175, which is light heavyweight. He's not going to go up to light heavyweight. All right. There's a weight limit at light heavyweight. The max is 175. The max. The minimum weight requirement is 169. You can't be 150 fighting at light heavyweight. There is a weight limit. It's not just a maximum. There's also a minimum. Why did they do that? Because Safety issues. So if you're in an exhibition fight, there are certain things you can't do. You got to wear, you got to have certain size gloves. You know, there's even in an exhibition fight, right? You can't just do what you want. So Tonka Truck is not even going to be fighting within the rules of professional boxing. They're going to be fighting in 2 different weight classes. They cannot be sanctioned. So why is he holding on to the belt? Mr. Oh, you can't feed your family with belts. Oh, I don't care about the belts. All I care about is the money. All right, we'll drop the belt. But even with this knowledge, these fans believe that Tank should still keep his belt. And guess what? The WBA, they had this meeting. Who knows what they're going to decide, right? Are they going to decide to do the right thing and strip him? You know what I'm saying? What are they going to do? Because what they should be asking Tonka Truck Davis, all right, give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Like these fans want. They want to give Tonka Truck the benefit of the doubt, even though he's never showed them that he is anything close to elite. And he never cared to, right? He tells his fans to shut the fuck up and be a fan. That's what he tells them. That means that he doesn't give a fuck what y'all think. But here we are, making excuses for this man, even though we hate this fight. Y'all don't really hate the fight. They do not hate this fight. They love it. What they're doing is they're trying to save face because they have been riding on Tank for so long, pretending and acting like he's the best, like he's the face of boxing, but he's not doing anything to show that he is anything close to that. Not in his career, not in his action, not in his words. So what they have to do is try to convince themselves and other people that Tank is going to come back after this. In 2026, he's going to turn it up. He's going to fight all these people. It's not going to fucking happen. Tank does not enjoy fighting as a professional fighter. He doesn't like the pressure. He doesn't like his fans. He don't like belts, but yet he has one. So at the end of the day, Tank is not the type of fighter that people should be riding for like this because he doesn't give a fuck. All right. So what the WBA might do is, okay, they're going to ask Tank, what are you going to do? Right? They might ask him what his plans are. This has happened before. What are your plans? Are you going to fight Jake Paul and come back to 135 and defend? Are you going to unify? What's your next plan? When are you going to fight? These are the questions, if you want to give Tank the benefit of the doubt, that you should be asking him. He needs to tell you right now that he plans to come back to 135, defend his belt, or unify. How anyone thinks boxing is in a good state is beyond me. William Olsen, you know, that's a really good thing to consider. So let's talk some eggs and don't ignore this. It's serious talk. I love my bacon and egg. Okay, good for you. It's who's to your social and have a big name holding their belts. Well, yeah, but that's not how this is supposed to work. If you have the champion should be a big name, right? If you are a champion, that means you have made your way through the rankings and you have shown something. You have shown how special you are. Champions are special, right? Right? Obviously, because they did everything they were supposed to do to get to where they are. Hold on.
I couldn't tell if you were somebody that I knew.
Oh.
Because somebody has a car like this, and I'm like,
right.
What is he doing here?
Oh, no. No, you're good. Thank you. Champions are special, right? They should be. We're not talking about participation trophies, right? We're talking about somebody who went through the fire to get where he's at. So every champion should be treated as a superstar, even if they don't have the superstar qualities that you guys like. Tonka Truck never had that, right? It was always Floyd Mayweather that was speaking for Tonka Truck. Tonka Truck was never this big talker, this big, you know what I'm saying? He just started doing that after he left Floyd Mayweather. He started coming out of his shell as a soft boy, you know what I'm saying? Wearing his purses and doing all these different things, smacking his ass in videos, half naked. Tonka Truck was made into what he was. Right? Think about that. So you're telling me that these associations want big names to have the belts. Well, if a fighter is making his way through the rankings, then guess what? And he looks special because, like I said, he has to be special to go all the way through number one to get to the top. So every champion should be treated like a big name. If not, then the associations and these promoters are not doing their job. Floyd had punked and never fought anybody in their prime. That's not true. That's not true. Okay, but you can have your opinion. Did you come on the show, pop balloon, or find love? No. What are you talking about? They promote who they can sell. Well, if they can't sell the champion, then that's their problem, right? And this is a reason why all these sanctioning bodies are unnecessary, in my opinion. That's why I think there should be one belt, right? One belt, one name, one champion. Right? All these other belts, it's ridiculous. If that's how they want to move and they want to enforce the rules as they see fit, then they're in the wrong business. This doesn't happen in the NFL, in the NBA, does it? The MLB? They don't pick and choose which team they want to be the champion. The teams that want to be the champion has to go through all these other teams, go through the playoffs, and go through the championship to get a trophy and become champions. You know what I'm saying? Angel Manfredi? I do. You can't be waiting until they get washed up. Who did he wait for to get washed up? Give me one fighter. If you're talking about Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather is older than Pacquiao, if you guys don't know that. The bottom line is, if Tank wants to fight Jake Paul at an exhibition, go ahead. Drop that belt and go on about your business. If you want to retire, go ahead, retire, drop the belt. If you're saying and you run around talking about how you want to retire at the end of 2025, then there's no point in keeping the belt. The fact of the matter is, Tonka Truck does care about the belts. That's why he still has one. That's why he accepted it when the WBA offered it to him when Devin Haney left the division and dropped his belts. Oscar? Oscar decided to fight Floyd when they fought. Oscar was the A side. So he could have fought Floyd Mayweather at any point. Shane Mosley? Shane Mosley was not washed up when he fought Floyd Mayweather. Shane Mosley was not washed up. Well, salute, Holy Ghost. XXX, Be Busy, Matt Wood. Anyway, Pac-Man was beating everyone, and Floyd waited until he got older. Floyd is older than Pacquiao. Floyd is older than Pacquiao. Do we not know this? Floyd is 50 years old. Pacquiao is 46. Floyd is older than Pacquiao. How is it that he waited until Pacquiao got older? Help me understand that. The bottom line is this. Y'all want to have your cake and eat it too. Y'all want to pretend like y'all don't like this fight. And I know you're pretending. I know you really like it. Because if you didn't, then you would want, as a real fan of boxing first, if you say you're a fan of boxing first, then you're going to put the sport of boxing before a fighter who is not doing what they're supposed to be doing in their weight class as a champion. You have responsibilities as a champion. You don't want those responsibilities? Drop the fucking belt. You Tonka truck fans are delusional. You're delusional to believe that Tank can do whatever he wants, hold on to these belts, and still act like he's some type of elite fighter when he's going to fight somebody like Jake Paul. That is the problem. The problem is y'all think that Tonka Truck should be able to do whatever he wants in the sport, not be held to any standard, but still treat him as an elite fighter. It doesn't make sense. Excuse me. So, yeah, I think it's amazing. I think it's pretty interesting that you guys, Tank fans, really think that this is how it's supposed to work, right? Oh, I don't like this fight, but he's going to come back and fight all these guys that we've been wanting to fight for years. He has been ducking his contemporaries at 135 since 2019. He hasn't fought a mandatory since 2023. Well, a mandatory hasn't been called for him since 2022. 3 years, almost going on 4 years, when this guy has never fought a mandatory. But we're supposed to believe that he's going to come back and fight all these guys when he's done with Jake Paul. If he was going to do that, he would have fought those guys before he fought Jake Paul. He would have fought Devin Haney. He would have fought Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko. He would have fought all these guys, got those guys out the way, actually proved that he's an elite fighter. And then if he wants to go right off into the sunset and fight a Jake Paul, he could have done that, no problems. But you guys think that he's supposed to hold on to his belt, go fight Jake Paul in the exhibition, which amounts to nothing in the sport. Y'all think that him fighting Jake Paul is big business for boxing? It's not. It's big business, and it's good business for Jake Paul, and it's big business for Tonka Truck Davis. And the only way it would be a good thing for boxing is if he puts these ladies on the undercard. It'll be great for women's boxing because it'll help highlight them once more. I'm hearing Katie Taylor might fight, or Amanda Serrano might fight Alicia Baumgardner. That would be a great fight. That would be great for the sport of women's boxing, undisputed versus undisputed. But that's about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no other fighter is going to be able to take what Jake Paul and Tonka Truck did and do the same thing unless they're a big name in the sport, and then there's a spectacle fighter that's a big name in the sport and has a huge following. Jake Paul brought tens of millions of fans with him to the sport, right? You guys say, oh, he brought more eyes to the sport. But these eyes only come to the sport when he's fighting, when he's on the cards, when he's headlining. They don't stick around and watch all these other fighters. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They might watch a couple other big fighters in the professional realm, but they're not tuning into lesser known fighters. They're not helping bring attention to other fighters that usually would not get the attention. They're not. So, again, the fact that y'all think that that he deserves to keep his belt after this is crazy. It's a money grab, exactly. And that's fine. I have no problem with Tonka Truck going to get his money. No problem at all. Just drop the belt, go on about your business, and fans need to just let it go. Let the man go. Let him drop the belts, free the division up to make moves, and that's it, man. Pac-Man was 36 past his prime. Yes, Floyd was older, but why didn't he fight Pac-Man? Now you're moving the goalpost. You're moving the goalpost. So Tank should have fought, Floyd should have fought Pacquiao in his 20s? Why didn't Pacquiao take the drug test? Why didn't he take the drug test? Why did he refuse? Why did he say he was afraid of needles? All this bullshit to avoid the testing. Manny Pacquiao should have took the fucking test. And that just proves how much better Floyd is than Pacquiao. If y'all believe that even though Floyd was older, he aged Pacquiao out. That doesn't make any sense. He aged himself out as well then, with that, by that logic. What do you mean, what about Usyk? Yes, he dodged a blood test. Am I Muslim? Well, I'm not a practicing Muslim, but I said the Shahada when I was 13 years old. So I wasn't an adult when I became a Muslim officially. Now Pac-Man took too many punches. How is that Floyd's problem? How is that? It's not Floyd's problem. It is what it is. He should have been a little bit more responsible with his in and out and all this other shit, dipping in and out, doing all these things. Be more defensively sound. Who is my GOAT? Man, that's a tough one. I would say in the heavyweight division, right? Usually people, to me, it's a toss-up between Muhammad Ali and Lennox Lewis. I know a lot of people wouldn't say Lennox Lewis, right? But Lennox Lewis was a dog. He was a beast. He beat everybody they put in front of him, and he fought a lot of killers and put down a lot of killers. Lennox Lewis was a beast. Muhammad Ali is one of the GOATs, but I think that Lennox Lewis is one of the GOATs too. The best lightweight? Oh man, that's a tough one. I would say it's a toss-up between Pernell Whitaker and Roberto Duran. Ali was more than a sportsman. He was for the world. Yes, Muhammad Ali is goated as a professional boxer, just all around. Right now, who's my favorite? Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason is the best lightweight to me. Andre Ward was solid, but he didn't have a lot of. Andre Ward needed, his resume isn't the best, but Andre Ward was a beast. You got it wrong. Pac fought too many fighters, and no one had a problem with the blood test. He did have a problem with the blood test. He said he was afraid of needles. The question is, why did Floyd make so much a big deal out of it? Because he wanted to make sure that Pacquiao was clean. What are you talking about? Fought too many fighters? So what? So? No. So what? Vladimir Klitschko is not the best heavyweight, if that's what you're saying. No. Abdullah showed he can adjust early, and I can't wait for him. Yeah, I think Abdullah Mason is to me the best lightweight right now. Because not only is he a superb fighter, very sharp, he needs to work on his defense a little bit, but he adjusted and improved his defense after he was dropped twice. He's showing a lot of discipline, a lot of skill, a lot of decorum. You know what I'm saying? Very, very a good amount of humility. Yes, over Shakur. I have Abdullah Mason beating Shakur. Yes. Abdullah Mason to me is a more complete fighter than Shakur. And Abdullah Mason I think he'll beat Shakur. I think that if Shakur tries to do all that hop back defense and all this other stuff, the shoulder roll, Abdullah Mason is not going. That's not going to stop Abdullah Mason from putting hands on him. Abdullah Mason is going to, going to work him. You know what I'm saying? And what Abdullah Mason would have to look out for is Shakur's superb counter punching. But if he keeps his head off the center line while he's throwing combinations, shifts around, uses his footwork, gets in and out, and maintain those sharp straights that he throws, it's going to be a problem for Shakur Stevenson. Especially a couple more fights for Abdullah Mason. Maybe even one more after he beats Snokes and becomes the WBO champion. I don't think Keyshawn could beat. No, Keyshawn is too. Yeah, no. Keyshawn will run into something. Keyshawn will walk into something from Abdullah Mason. And plus, Abdullah Mason has more experience, right? He has more experience, and he's been through more tests than Keyshawn Davis. You know, even though yes, Abdullah Mason's younger than Keyshawn, he still has more experience. You know what I'm saying? He's more active. He's been tested more. He's figured out how to adjust, change his game to be more defensively sound. He's more defensively sound than Keyshawn Davis. And he's more powerful, I believe, than Keyshawn Davis. Anyway, salute, guys. I'm going to get out of here and get my workout going. But thank you for coming through. Thank you for hitting the like button and all that good stuff. But yeah, I got to get my workout in and going about my day. But thank you. Much love. Like, share, subscribe. Listen, Tonka Truck Davis does not need to hold on to that belt. Let him go fight Jake Paul. Stop running around telling people that Tank should be able to keep his belt because he's going to come back in 2026 and finally fight these guys after 12, 15 years. He's going to finally fight somebody. Man, get the fuck out of here. Get that fucking belt from him and allow 135 to move on. Much love, like, share, subscribe, and let's keep marching forward toward freedom. I appreciate that, Tyrant H. Salute to you.